high school journalism class, I used to do a weekly column called Dinner and a Movie. So I thought that would be kind of fun to bring back. I am on my way to the movies right now, and I am going to see The Long Walk today. And it's based off of a Stephen King novel, and it's supposed to be like a horror movie. And I'm going to Yorkshire Burrito in Camden beforehand. So we're gonna try a cauliflower cheese veggie roast in a burrito, so stay tuned. Okay, this is the burrito. It's like steaming hot. She also let me choose one of the two lemonade flavors. I asked for the raspberry and she said I can mix them together and see which one I like the most. So customer service 10 out of 10. Brother, this shit tastes like Christmas. That's doing it. That's fire. Movie review. How could I forget? I've actually not read any of his books, but I had high hopes for the movie because it looked like kind of a mix between like The Purge, Squid Games, and The Hunger Games. Very much like class struggle, us versus them, capitalism, American horror. And I thought the premise of the movie sounded really good. However, I don't think it was executed very well. So obviously, no spoilers. I'm just realizing that I've packed my eyebrow products. So it's gonna be a no brow day for me, I guess. The idea is that men, it's kind of like an army draft. Men from all over the country will sign up to do this long walk, and essentially all you're doing is walking until you're the last one standing. I'm not sure if they know that they die. I think they do. They go into it knowing that they die if they like don't follow the rules. So if you break the pace, or I think it's like if you speak poorly about the long walk itself, and also if you slow down. Anyway, so obviously lots of room for error, but it sounds easy enough. All you're doing is walking, right? And obviously with that, the whole movie is filmed showing them walking, which like fine, but it was really bouncy with like the camera POV, which like I feel like that could have been stabilized. I feel like that's not something that would take away or add to the storyline, so I just didn't feel like that was really necessary. And I'm not sure if this was a purposeful choice because granted these are all young men, but the dialogue just seemed really underdeveloped. And they had this one character who basically all of his lines probably included the word fuck or fucking like at least 3 times per sentence, which just felt like it was just unrealistic as well. So that was kind of annoying. So overall, I gave it a 3. I thought it could have been a lot better, but I think those stylistic choices took away from the gravity of the actual situation and the storylines. There was one character who he was really hard to understand, and not in the sense that it was like his accent or the way he was speaking or anything like that. It just seemed like the mic wasn't close enough and he was really like eating his fucking words. So it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't work out because he was meant to have this big like moment with his background, etc. And I was like, huh? And also like, obviously I'm from the United States, but I was watching this in a theater and I heard people speaking before the movie started, and they were speaking French, they were speaking Japanese, and I can't imagine how a movie like that with no subtitles would have been for them if I was struggling to understand it too. So, unsure. The one thing that I will say is that character diversity from the main characters was really refreshing because I thought it was a better, greater representation of diversity in the United States than we're typically afforded. So that was really nice. Also, really appreciated that there was a bigger moment for an indigenous character, and it was also sprinkled in where he was from, like which, because there's one person per state. So I thought that was like a really good kind of background contrast to someone from a neighboring state with a completely different upbringing. But I would give points for that because that was also a nice touch to the movie. I also just don't like when you can't tell when a movie is supposed to be taking place, but I think in this case that was a stylistic choice because this movie looked like it was from the olden days, you know, like, and also the color scheme of everything was very like muted browns and greens and beiges. It's giving like dystopian army sort of gear. A lot of like, although they're not like dirty looking clothes, so like a beige shirt didn't look like a beige shirt, it looked like a white shirt that had been worn in so much it turned beige, if that makes sense. But the description will clearly tell you it's meant to be in the future, but some of the things that are happening in there could be headlines today. So overall, take that with a grain of salt, but that is my review, and I honestly think it's just the stylistic choices, like the movie itself and the idea behind it, very interesting to me, as well as a trailer that was playing when I was at this movie for another Stephen King book adaptation where it was very much along the lines, similar lines of like class struggle, sort of gamified reality, and it was like you can't let people catch you, and then if you don't let people catch you then you win some prize, and the rich are watching, very much Hunger Games sort of situation. But that one also looks really good. I'm gonna watch that. Oh, last thing I'll say on this movie, I just found the major, like the guy who's running the long walk and whatever, his voice was just really fucking annoying. Like you could tell that he was really straining to make it sound like that, which I thought was embarrassing to say the least, but to each their own. There was definitely some stylistic liberties taken with this movie.